Normally, I would carry the Flux Glock with arm brace in the waistband. Now, it's it's almost exactly 1.5 inches wide as opposed to 1.07, which is the width of the Glock. So it's a lot like carrying, a 2x4 in your waistband. Maybe not a 2x4, but certainly a 2x2. So that's about how comfortable it is. The width is important. A Glock 21 is like 1.21 inches wide, and it is more uncomfortable to carry inside the waistband than the 17. So the last couple of days I've switched to the crossbreed. This is the crossbreed Glock 17 using the Crimson Trace Laser Guard Pro combo. Even though it's not on the gun right now, you need a little bit bigger than a normal holster to support the Flux braces to go in it. So this holds pretty secure. It's not locked in. It doesn't have the thumb button. I have holsters like that, but they get bigger and thicker and further away from the body. This right here covers with a button down, buttoned up, certainly, or an over jacket like a vest or something like this. So photographer's jacket, that kind of thing, a coverall. But this is a whole lot more comfortable. I'll give you that. This used to be an inside the waistband holster, but I cut some loops in it and simply threaded the belt through it to make it a outside the waistband holster. So it's a lot more comfortable. You do feel the weight of it. It's about 45 ounces complete. That's not that heavy. That's like a 1911. But again, twice as heavy as a Glock 19. This is discontinued. But and as far as an MOS, the Glock MOS, look how tall that front sight is to get co-witness using the SRO. That does co-witness, but it's so tall that it complicates some holsters, right? Some holsters aren't even compatible with a killer whale dorsal fin like that. That's so tall. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. Inside the waistband, it's not very comfortable either. I mean, this thing hangs on everything. Your underwear, your shirt, your belt, everything. So I don't like the MOSs, at least in the 17 and 19s, because they require that tall sight. Is that solvable? Sure, you can go with a smaller dot scope, that goes right down the frame and co-witnesses with the sights themselves. On the 43X though, you don't have to compromise. You can get the dot scope that goes right down on that RMSX mounting cut, and it's got a bigger dot than this. But the problem is they don't have the Flux arm brace for the 43X, right? So this is the game changer here. Notice I've done some modifications on this particular one. I've taken some of the meat off of here with the Dremel tool. But in any case, this carries well. It carries on the hip. It is about, again, not prohibitively heavy, about 45 ounces, and it's close to the body, so it's not hanging out here where that would compromise concealment. But this works very well in the street. It's not slow. If you had to use it as a handgun, to keep somebody off of you, you could. If you had to push out and find your dot with a larger dot, that becomes viable. And the beauty of it, though, is it's fast enough, in my opinion, that no matter what scenario or situation you're in, you don't have to decide if you're going to use the Flux or not use the Flux. A folder or something you have to press or do some buttons to, like an MP5, or you have to unfold it, or a Uzi where you have to get the stock out. All these are, unless you can rip the stock out, like perhaps on an MP7, but an MP7 is huge, right? You're not carrying it anyway. In any case, this, unlike all of the other submachine guns, no matter the situation, what sold me on it is, let's say you're in a church, you're providing security for the church, and 40 feet away, there's a guy with an overcoat, black overcoat, pulls out a shotgun, immediately shoots somebody, right? That's your first warning that something was wrong with a gunshot. Well, at that point, you don't have to decide, do I deploy the stock or not deploy the stock? You simply deploy it anyway, right? If it's a what do you call it? Let's say a robbery, you know, a liquor store robbery. The guy is, unless he is right on top of you, right? Unless you are about to fire as immediate, like within 5 feet, you have time to go for the dot. It's a half a second slower, but you pick up accuracy, which may increase your speed by half a second by not missing in the first place. So, getting back in here, there you go. So, a little tricky on the reholster. You don't want to get the rails on the outside of the Kydex or the inside of the leather. But that's the situation. This is discontinued. You can still find these for sale for the Glock Gen 4s, Gen 5s, even for the Gen 3s. But the Gen 3s are probably going to be even more cumbersome. The future really is going to be in the P365, in my opinion, and in the chassis guns. So we can 3D print this and make it part of the grip instead of an accessory that bolts on, right? Because this adds bulk and it lowers where your grip is. But if you could bring this whole thing up and away from the grip, then in my opinion, that's where the future for this kind of product lays. Because Glock's certainly not going to come out with their thing, and we're just going to have to do it on our own. But for now, this is the superior system. Even though it's discontinued, it's harder to get this. This is still a better system than the SIG 320. The 320 is a better shooting system, but it's not a better carrier. For now, I don't have a solution, a holster solution for the 320. It's probably out there. You know, maybe you buy a Kydex system for the Desert Eagle or something like this. Plus, you have to cut the P320 Raider a lot with a Dremel tool. You have to do a lot of custom modifications to get it to go into a holster like this. Where this one is, as a matter of fact, the only thing I did on this one was I cut down the button here. I cut it down about 1 inch, and that way it goes in not only inside the waistband, but also in the holster without hitting that plastic piece. You see where it's cut back here. It's cut back from here to here, and that way it clears the Kydex. So that's a simple cut with a Dremel tool. And you still, of course, have the locking button. It's just not here conveniently. It's further back to unlock it. And we don't press the button to ignite it with the spring. You do it manually. And that's the system. This puts effectively, it's a brace system, but you have a gun that is 9mm, like a 9mm carbine, basically. It's basically a 9mm carbine, but it's a pistol legally. But a 9mm carbine on the street is a huge step forward in firepower over your standard handgun. Handgun is one of the most difficult things to shoot under stress. This is 10 times as accurate as a handgun, and that is a game changer in a fight. That is more important than a bigger caliber of a gun you just missed your target with. You know, oh, I missed him with a 44 Magnum, as opposed to what? Hit him in the head at 50 yards with this, with 9mm. Well, 9mm in the head ain't gonna kill nobody. Neither is a 44 you missed your target with, right? So only hits count, and this enables you to hit at least 10 times the capability of normal humans. Any hunter can outshoot any police officer at 10 times the range with this, 10 times. Any hunter, I'm not talking about a pistol shooter either. Any hunter that can shoot this 9mm carbine can shoot at 10 times the range, 10 times the distance of a police officer who's qualified at a minimum standards for police training. It's about 1 inch per yard for police, and this shoots 10 inches at 100 yards. right? So that's 1 inch per yard. Excuse me, that's 1 inch every 10 yards. All right, so this shoots 1 inch every 10 yards. Minimum police standard is 1 inch per yard, right? So they shoot 10 inches at 10 yards, where this shoots 1 inch at 10 yards. Another way to say that is that this shoots 5 inches at 50 yards, headshots, where the police standard is 50 inches. I have to back up for that one. Oh, no, I don't. This is right here. There's 50 inches right there at my chin. About that. It's about 50 inches. So police officers cannot hit a human at 50 yards, where with this you can have a headshot. Now, maybe you didn't hit him, and maybe under stress that's a little worse. Okay. So you hit him what? Here? That's fine. I mean, anywhere in the head is good. But if you can't hit him with this, which is 10 times the accuracy, you're not going to have hit him with your handgun either. So that's guaranteed. So this is a game changer. This is the future. I can't imagine anything else that's the future. The lasers, the dot scopes, the hollow points, the guns that shoot 19 bullets instead of 17, or maybe if you're holding a 5.7, it holds 24 bullets instead of 17. That's not, the magic is not the last 5 rounds. The magic is in the first 5 rounds. So you'd be better off with one of these, $1,000 arm brace. You can buy these about $900 nowadays. They've been discontinued, but you can find it for $900. $900, and you immediately skip to a completely another league of accurate shooting. And that's something that you take time and training and money. It's a lot of hassle to get good at, to get this good as this arm brace provides instantly. It takes a lot of work and a lot of time. And this, you gain it basically instantly. You spend $900, you put it on your gun in about 10 seconds, and maybe do some modifications in about 10 minutes. And then you got yourself a 100-yard gun, 100-yard capable 9mm. Not that you need it at 100, but at 10 or 15 yards, now you're putting it in somebody's eyeball as opposed to putting one down the street in someone else's ass who has a lawyer in the family, and now you're getting sued, right? Not to mention the fact that you haven't killed the threat, and now you're getting killed right back, right? So instead of it being over, you got problems upon problems upon problems. Where this, you could have solved that for about $900. Like I said, there are holsters that are compatible with it. This is just one of them. I'm sure there are others that aren't specifically designed for this that do work.